This is part two of my daily commentary in regards to certain ideas, suggestions that I made that were added to the game. And the ones that are up over here was in perhaps yesterday's video or a previous video. They're not numbered anymore. So, marathon missions, you play those marathon missions, you earn a free premium tank, got all those stages. Those were my idea. When I started playing the game, it was August of 2013, and they used to have daily missions, and the daily mission was something like, I don't remember if it was 50,000 damage or 5,000 damage, but I was like, I play every day because I work from home, and I was like, I play every day and I finish your missions in like 1 or 2 hours. Or maybe it was 50,000 damage. I don't remember. And I said, your missions are too easy. Maybe for the casual player it's difficult, but for those of us who play every day, they're just too easy. Why don't you make a big mission where you got to do like 500,000 EXP and you win a premium tank? They announced it 2 weeks later. And you know what it was? The first one was for an IS-6. It was you had 3 months to do 500,000 EXP and you win an IS-6. I already had the IS-6, so I did not get to participate. And they probably said if you already have it, you get like the gold value. And I think I actually either completed it or I came close. Rental tanks was my idea. At some point, I got sick and tired of playing the game because it was the same maps over and over again. And I was starting to work more. I had my office. I was busy with my employees and stuff like that. And so I decided not to play for like a year. And before I left, I made a suggestion. It was done through the email. Like if you go through my tickets, definitely customer support knows who I am. I've got like hundreds of customer support tickets with suggestions and bug reports and things like that. I was the one who said, why don't you make rental tanks? My idea was my idea was, I want to know how to train my crew without me having to do anything. So I said, it would be cool if we could rent tanks to other players where we decide the price, we include the crew and the equipment, everything. And we would not be able to play the tank if we rent it out to another player. And the other player would be earning experience that we would get. I was thinking, totally selfishly. And then I stopped playing for like a year. And when I came back, I saw these weird things in the garage that said they were rental tanks. And I was like, oh, look, they added rental tanks. Although they did it differently than I did. The my submission was to the North America team, and they came up with their own rental tanks. Because they don't. My idea with the crew and we get all the money. They didn't want to do that. They did their own rental tanks. The way they did it is just as good. We get to players now get to play frontline. You see rental tanks in the game sometimes, and the way they did it is just as good. A lot of the April Fools events were from suggestions I made. For example, one of them was a TOG event. This is posted in the forum. It was posted like January 16th. And I said, why don't you do an event where we all play TOGs, like a 1 day thing or a 3 day thing, where you make an announcement that says, like, Friday at 10 p.m., everybody get into your TOGs. And do it like once a week or something like that. And what they did was on April Fools, they did the TOG event, which was, 2.5 months later. And then a year later, Quickie Baby did a TOG event where he gave out like 12,000 coupon codes or something where people got to all play the TOG. And everybody loved that event. I don't know which one had more TOGs in the game, but I think there were games that had like 14 TOGs or maybe even 24. The numbers were up there. Progressive decals for mastery badges. So people are always saying put another decal on the tank. So I was hesitant to say let's make another decal. And we know that they don't do it. People make these suggestions all the time. So I said, why don't you take mastery badges and the other things that are similar and track our progression. Right now, all you do is say whether we have it or not. Why don't you do something like a campaign mission or a marathon mission or a special screen that has all the badges and how we're progressing on the badges? One of my ideas was a log page where it says, today I got a mastery badge on this tank and it has a date and time, keeps a log record. So it's just another stat so people can see how quickly you're progressing through mastery badges. And what they did was this progressive decal. I don't know if this was what my suggestion was or not. Sometimes they take a suggestion I make and they interpret it a little bit differently, and then they add it to the game, but it's basically the same concept. So, the dog tags, they did the dog tags a long time ago. Nobody liked it. They got rid of it. And I said, you do mastery badges, and you do kills, damage, and EXP. What about all the other stuff? You got knocking trees down, you got spotting, you got the Brothers in Arms awards, you got the wargaming personal score, the wargaming rating, and how many tanks are in the garage and what your highest tier is. You've got or blocked by armor is another one. You've got all sorts of statistics that you can use. How about expanding? Instead of just doing damage and kills and EXP, how about expanding into some of these other things? Like how much blocked damage did you do in the last hour or something? And they, in the next update, added dog tags with something called skill or something like that. And it shows all the skill-based things in the dog tags. So that was I probably inspired that also. And I made the suggestion, you can't just do skill-based rewards. You also have to do rewards for participation because the new players don't have any skill. They eventually added the Battle Pass. Battle Pass was not my idea. I had no idea what Battle Pass is. Apparently, it's common in a lot of games. But it was part of changing the way they made the game. They started making more participation-based rewards in terms of missions or stuff like that. Okay, so let's move on to the rest is going to be in a future commentary video.